Hi there, I'm Gloria Makarenko. Well, we have got it all this week, from cherry blossoms to Disco Inferno. This is our Vancouver. Coming up, what do spiders and hummingbirds have in common? Okay, not a lot, but we'll show you what they do share. And the inspiration behind Beaucoup Bakery's spring menu. But first, disco is alive and well and selling out seats locally too. All right, those clips might jog your memory a little of music and dance moves from the 70s. They are from the Dusty Flowerpot Cabaret production called Disco Inferno. Yeah, so this is equal parts musical comedy and disco dance party. It directly involves the audiences. So let's get to it. Producer-director Kat Single-Dain is here to tell us all about Disco Inferno. I love this. You brought your own disco ball.
I sure did.
Isn't that fun? No, but you also brought some little props for me as well, because if we're talking disco, it's all about glitter. It's all about strutting your stuff. So let me get into the mood as well, Kat. Tell me about this production, Disco Inferno. Where did this whole idea start?
Disco Inferno is equal parts theater show, musical, and real discotheque where you can actually enjoy yourself and dance for the night.
I love it.
And enter into a space that feels like the 70s.
Okay, and what does that bring back for you?
Unity on the dance floor, a place where everyone can meet together and enjoy our shared humanity through dance.
Okay, well, when we're talking about it being interactive, what exactly does that mean?
It means that there's going to be opportunities for the audience to learn certain dances, like the hustle, for example.
Like the hustle.
Like, of course, the YMCA. We've grown up learning that one too. Yeah,
that's an easy one. Okay, that fits into the disco era as well. Sure.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. And other ones like that. And then there's also moments where it's just a real musical theater show that people can enjoy.
Okay, now I'm a little bit distracted because in behind us here, you brought a little.
This is Disco D2. Disco. Yeah. So this is.
Hi there. Hi, Gloria.
Hello. Yeah. How are you?
Thank you. I'm doing well. I brought you a beverage.
This is Disco D2, our server at the bar. In fact. Yeah.
Seriously, this is the disco ball, the Disco D2. This is amazing. Born to be alive. Born to be alive.
Do you like cola?
I do like cola.
Here you are.
You brought your own. Thank you. I see that's your server.
And this is Astrid, the bar owner, in fact.
Yes. I have hired Disco D2 to be on our team.
I think this calls for a dance party. What do you say? You're going to teach us some moves?
I would love that.
Come on over here. You can join in the party too with the cola.
With the cola, perfect.
Hold my drink.
All right, start Disco D2. 1 second.
Okay.
If we're doing a hustle, we're just going to go a grapevine to the right, grapevine to the left, with a turn. Ooh, a turn. And a kick. A kick. And point.
Point. Oh, that's important.
That was good. That's good. Just keep that pointing going.
Let's go. Exactly. That's it.
Born to be alive.
Exactly.
Give it a little mystery here. Yeah, should we do it again from the top? Ready?
Yeah.
Let's go, right?
What is it about the appeal of the 70s? Seriously, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it as we're all dressed up like this. But what attracts you to this era?
I do like setting shows in different eras. So we've done that in the 30s with Hard Times Hit Parade, then the 50s, and now the 70s with this show. And I like surround sounding people with a show that they are actually entering into, and so that they feel like they're in a full fantasy.
Right. Okay, but in that full fantasy, does everybody come sort of dressed to the nines? Is this part of it?
Yes.
You're encouraging people to dress up?
Yes, absolutely.
Just like the 70s. Everyone would just come in and the dance floor is the main attraction.
And you own it. Yeah. You absolutely own it.
Yeah, and we have costumes at the entrance as well. So if you need, you can purchase or
right. And where is this all taking place?
This is at the Russian Hall.
At the Russian Hall. Yeah. Excellent. I would cue a little bit more music, and we're going to go out in a little, how about a little
Cool. Yeah.
Got it? Got some music happening?
A little bit more
I can
music.
play anything you want.
So just freestyle?
Born to be alive.
Born to be alive. Someone who wants some hot water.
Hi, my name is Gina. This is our Vancouver.
Now, speaking of hit shows, HBO announced its series The Last of Us is moving to Vancouver for its second season. The show is based on a hit video game with the same name. It's set in a post-apocalyptic world. And as we found out, this could mean more jobs for more British Columbians.
Incredibly excited to welcome The Last of Us to Hollywood North as they bring production of their second season to Vancouver.
Vancouver Mayor Ken Sim says he is looking forward to the production, as well as the hundreds of jobs that will be created as a result.
Make no mistake about it, this production is going to create a lot of high-paying jobs, and it's going to create a lot of career opportunities for Vancouverites. And it gives us more swagger.
Sim says that he and a local film commissioner were in Los Angeles a few weeks ago to show that Vancouver would be open for business, and the process unfolded from there.
Fictional story set in the U.S., and it attracted tourism to Calgary. And I suspect that it will do the same here. There's a big fan base. It's Game of Thrones level type of production.
While HBO confirmed production is moving to Vancouver, a representative from the Alberta government says it is expecting part of the second season to be filmed there. Prem Gill, CEO of Creative BC, says the move demonstrates the strength of the province's collective resources.
Our talent base, we have strong infrastructure, we have great incentives that are steady from our government. It's a whole bunch of things. So, it's tremendous news, but it speaks to the quality and the excellence of the work of the talent here.
Gill says BC was also involved in the first season, largely known for its superb visual and special effects.
Some of them were done here in the first season. So, there's already been a British Columbia touch on this. I think for opportunities, this is going to be a large show that will require a lot of people, but it's also those things that you don't think that are often not directly involved in the production, but local businesses that might be supplying things for the production. Communities across the province might be involved. We really don't know at this point.
The series began shooting in the summer of 2021, wrapping production around a year later. In that time, it filmed at several Calgary locations, including Mount Royal University and the legislature, creating elaborate sets based on the video game, making it the largest production in Alberta's history. Back in BC, the Ministry of Arts and Culture says it is an opportunity for viewers around the world to experience the beauty of British Columbia. Yasmin Kantam, CBC News, Vancouver.
Now, so many of you take amazing photographs in this beautiful province, and we always like to feature a few of them here on Our Vancouver. Let's start with this one. Srinivas Raghavan captured the moon over Surrey, just misty and beautiful. Love that. And a regular contributor, Richard Topping, sent in this picture of what can only be described as a jailbird, right? Totally unique framing on that one, Richard. Thank you. And finally, Amanda Nelson near Clinton captured a beautiful bluebird settling back into BC for the season. That color is just incredible, and we love to hear the bird song in the spring as well. And send us more if you're out and about with your cameras. Just send in your favorite photographs to us by email, bcphotos@cbc.ca. That's bcphotos@cbc.ca. Well, coming up, a shrinking snowpack in a warmer world. What that means for a rarely seen Canadian mammal.
Wolverines are a species at risk in Canada. My study area, the Upper Columbia region in BC, is important to them because it's a climate refugium and because the landscape here is still quite intact. For my PhD, I used remote camera stations and hair snagging traps to collect just over 1 million photos and thousands of hair samples. So far, I found that wolverine numbers in the Canadian Rockies were already low 10 years ago, but they have now declined even further by about 40%. I found that overharvest by fur trappers has contributed to that decline. I also found that inside their territories, wolverines avoid areas where people recreate. As few as 3 groups of people every 2 weeks is enough to have a negative effect. I want to know if on a bigger scale, if areas with lots of recreation have fewer wolverines establishing their territories there. In addition, primary and old-growth forests are still being clear-cut in the region. I want to know if the resulting ecosystem changes have an impact on wolverine numbers. My next steps will be to look at wolverine population connectivity, because well-connected wildlife populations are much more likely to survive. I'll be looking for patterns in the genetic fingerprints of wolverines that might suggest human-made barriers to their movements. Also, this genetic work will let us know if there are important wolverine source populations in the region that we should know about, connect, and protect. For anyone who wants to help me and contribute to wolverine conservation, check out our website, wolverinewatch.org.
Johanna, thank you so much, and welcome back to Our Vancouver. I'm Gloria Makarenko. So it's around this time every year, pink and white cherry blossoms cover the city like icing on a cake. And our next guest has used this spring event as inspiration to bring some new items to the menu. Betty Hung of Beaucoup Bakery and Cafe is here with us to show us her latest creations. Betty, hi there and welcome back to Our Vancouver.
Yes, I'm very excited.
Well, I'm excited for you too, because it doesn't matter how many times you go into Beaucoup Bakery, there always seems to be something new and fresh. So what are you bringing this spring?
So we have a cherry blossom picnic set.
Okay.
So today we're going to demo how to do the Petite Sakura Supreme. And I've also brought along 2 other things. That's our yuzu matcha travel cake.
Oh, it's heavy.
Yeah.
Wait a second. Why is this so dense? What's in there?
It's kind of like a pound cake where you can take to travel. That's why it's called travel cake. And it will last for a couple of days.
It beats a protein bar.
Yeah.
Okay, it beats a protein bar if you're talking about that. But that's what you're saying. This one's gonna give you some real power.
Yes, that's correct.
A little bit of power. Travel cake. I love it. Yeah. Well, just tell me about the idea about the spring box and sort of the influence of cherry blossoms and pink right now.
So cherry blossom is very popular in Japan, and we see there's a festival going on locally in Vancouver as well. So I want to highlight the season, which the blossoms are so nice. It kind of looks like snowing when, a little bit breeze.
I love it.
And they're blooming all over the city, and they're really beautiful. So I want to infuse some of that culture and flavor into our pastries. And also we, besides those 2 items, we also have this tiramisu, which I have infused jasmine and strawberry into it, to make it a little bit different.
So tiramisu is normally chocolate and mocha,
Yeah,
kind of this
exactly.
kind of combination. So you've lightened it up a little bit.
Yes, that's correct. And also the idea of this, you can take it all to your picnic when you go on your weekend trip with your family under the cherry blossoms.
Oh, I love that whole idea. Now, if only the weather would cooperate and things would really start warming up a little bit, that would be better. But I do see that. Lay out the blanket under the cherry blossoms as they're snowing down on you, and you're having your pink and green delights from Beaucoup Bakery. Okay, where would you like to start with a little bit of the decoration? What have we got here?
So this is a Supreme croissant. It's been a really popular, trendy pastry that comes from New York. We take our take on it.
Supreme croissant?
Yeah. So this is a croissant pastry. We put it in a round mold and press it to bake. That's how it takes its shape.
Ooh.
And it's still a really signature buttery pastry.
You get the flakiness of a croissant still, but it's all kind of condensed.
That's correct.
Okay.
And then we fill it with a cream, Sakura-infused ganache.
Inside there?
Yes, that's
inside
correct.
there. Is that are you going to do that now, or is it already in there?
No, I'm going to do that now.
Okay.
Yeah, so the ganache, I have infused the Sakura powder into it, which you can get online, which I've brought a little bit here.
So Sakura powder is this light pink powder?
Yep. It really has a very unique flavor. Yeah.
It's like, I was expecting strawberry when I saw that. I was expecting to smell strawberry. It's almost leaning towards the matcha, but maybe because I'm smelling the matcha that's alongside here.
Yeah, it's very
subtle. Beautiful.
Very subtle.
Okay, and light. I like that.
Yeah, so like in
powder.
Japan, it's very popular. So they've taken some of the leaves and flowers, dehydrated, and make a powder out of it.
Love it.
And so you can make pastries or like drinks with that powder. So here I've just used a little bit of skewer. This is a lollipop stick.
Great,
So
but that's a teeny hole. You're going to be able to get the ganache in there?
I think so.
You know what you're doing. I'm sure you've got this all under control, but I guess I was expecting like a bigger hole.
Yeah, we
to
try
do
to
that.
keep it discreet to make it look nice.
Okay, love that.
So once you, the key is to try to make as much space there because it's all.
Oh, you're
like
actually
a
kind of
bread,
digging
right?
around in the meat, so you're not going to, because of
Yeah.
the croissant, sort of some of those layers might be blocking
Yes,
your
that's
ganache.
correct.
I got it.
So you want to make a
Clear it up.
cavity in there.
Right.
So right now I'm going to put ganache. At the bakery, we do like about 30 grams.
Yes.
But you know, it's about
You're just going by feel. You're
yeah,
going by feel here.
that's
How much
correct.
is and does it
2
ever kind
tablespoons.
of comes? Okay, 2
No,
tablespoons.
yeah. So it doesn't really come out if you make a big enough a cavity in there.
Okay.
So
just gonna
that's
get-
about good.
And what's in here?
So it's white chocolate,
Yes.
Whipping cream, and the powder that we talked about,
Yes.
and a little bit of vanilla bean.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay. But this other one is okay. You're
This
gonna
is
do it for-
I'm going to finish this one first.
Okay, sure.
The other one is a raspberry ganache that we made with raspberry chocolate, raspberry puree, and a little bit of cream.
Oh, I love that. So are you putting both of them inside?
Yes.
Oh, so when you open it up, you're going to get this double color
exactly.
kind of loveliness.
This is more of a, we're going to use for topping. I just want a little
I
bit of
see.
that flavor.
I see. You're not putting both inside. I
Yeah,
got it.
because you don't want to overpower this because it's a really subtle flavor. So I
Okay.
just want to keep it nice and light. And then the raspberry really kind of adds a sort of a tart and another tartness and another kind of layer of flavor. Here I'm just decorating.
You're just effortlessly decorating there. I could just imagine mine be going down onto all of the sides. Tell me about sort of your love for pastry making. How did you come upon this in the first place?
I always have loved to bake. Since high school, I would bake for my friends and family, and of course, eventually I baked so much I need to have another outlet. So I wrote a blog. It's called Yummy Workshop, and then I also sold at various craft markets.
Okay.
And that's how it really started.
It's like, Betty, you're onto something here. You've got to do this professionally, right?
Yes, and then decided to apply for a job at Beaucoup Bakery.
Right, right. So
Yeah.
did you start like working the late night shift and all
Yes,
those creations
that's
and kind of
correct.
just you worked your way up?
Yeah, that's really, I don't have formal training, so I've really learned my tricks through Beaucoup Bakery.
Right. Okay, I want to let you finish your
So this is
decorating.
a little bit of raspberry ganache. I'm
Yes.
going to top a little bit here to make it look delicious.
So you just get a little pop of the raspberry, a little bit of the tartness
Yes,
and sweetness.
and yes, that's
But as you're saying, you don't want to overpower what's going on inside there.
And then this, I have a little bit of cutout shape of chocolate that I've colored, and then I'll give one to you as well.
Thank you.
So you can top that.
I can handle this part. This part, I think this is not beyond me. All right.
Okay, so I'm gonna just put one on top, and that's it.
Isn't that gorgeous? I love the soft pinks and greens as well. This is beautiful. Now, how would you tackle something like this? Fork and knife, or you just go in with both hands?
Yeah, I would just go in.
Oh, yeah. I like your style, Betty. I like your style. Well, thank you for bringing this taste of spring, the aesthetic of spring as well. What's next for Beaucoup?
So we're looking to open right in downtown for Beaucoup.
So now you're down at 5th and Fur right now?
Yes,
Okay.
6th and Fur, and then our new location is going to be in Dunsmuir and Seymour.
Exciting. When are you going to open?
Very soon. We're just waiting for a couple of things that we're going to finish it up on. Maybe this month or next month.
Oh, seriously? That is imminent then. Well, congratulations to you. You said just dive in with both hands,
that's
right?
correct.
I think this is going to be messy.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's going to be messy.
Happy spring. Happy Cherry Blossom Festival. Great to see you. Oh my. Oh my, I'm getting that. I'm really getting that croissant. Buttery flavor too. That ganache is gorgeous. Thank you so much, Betty.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Not satisfied.
If you like to get out and see some live music, Canadian indie folk band Reuben and the Dark. They play Vancouver's Hollywood Theatre April 13th. And longtime Toronto rockers Big Sugar play the Commodore Ballroom April 15th.
Hey, I'm Grant Lawrence from CBC Music, and earlier this year we launched a brand new project for teachers and students called the CBC Music Playlist Challenge. We partnered up with CAMH, which is Canada's largest mental health hospital. The project was all about helping kids improve their mental health through music and discussion. All kids and teachers had to do was to create a 15-song YouTube playlist that answered the question, what music moves your mood? We received entries from all over Canada, and the project was a great insight into what music kids gravitate towards if they have the choice. Some of the most popular mood-moving picks were by artists like Drake, Miley Cyrus, The Weeknd, Taylor Swift, and Justin Bieber, as well as classics by Bryan Adams, Journey, and BTO. But what was one of the most popular song choices from Canadian kids across the country in 2023? Take a look.
Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy, but here's my number, so call me maybe. It's hard to look right at your baby, but here's my number, so call me maybe.
Yes, an 11-year-old feel-good mega hit from back in 2012, Call Me Maybe by Carly Rae Jepsen of Mission, British Columbia, was one of the top song choices of kids across the country when it came to picking tunes that move their mood. One class was chosen at random to be the winner of the 2023 CBC Music Playlist Challenge, and our congratulations goes out to the kids at Peter Pitzoliak High School in Kingeat, Nunavut, which is a tiny hamlet on Dorset Island in the Arctic Ocean. Here's some of their mood-moving song choices.
I missed the time when you and I were playing basketball. I took a picture of you smiling cause your team had won. You had one finger up cause you know you are number one.
And watch what happens tomorrow when you be waiting for some good news. I've been waiting on some good news. Yeah, me too. The clouds to part and let the light shine through. I wanna wake up to a better tomorrow. 'Cause I gotta know there is a trust, there is a truth. It's about time for some good news.
There you go. That's a sampling of the 15-song playlist that was submitted by Peter Pitzoliak High in Kingeat, Nunavut, and that school has won our grand prize, a private virtual concert experience with Ottawa TikTok sensation Talk.
What if I run away tomorrow? Would you find me in the stars?
That's Talk with his hit Runaway to Mars, and he's going to be running away to Kingeat, Nunavut, virtually. Congratulations to that school, and thank you to every teacher and class who submitted a mood-moving playlist in the spirit of improving our kids' mental health. A big thanks to CAMH for all of their support as well. Check out all of the playlists for the CBC Music Playlist Challenge at cbc.ca/music class. I'm Grant Lawrence. All the best to you in music and mental health, and I'll check in with you again soon.
You might have heard that Minecraft fans are soon going to be able to embark on a new adventure called Minecraft Legends. But you might not know the new game is created right here in the city. So ahead of its release, we went for a tour of the Vancouver studio.
This is the entryway to Blackbird Interactive, and we're going to go through the kitchen area, the atrium, and then the kitchen area, and then we're going to go into the Minecraft Legends space. My name is Lee McKinnon-Peterson, and I'm the executive producer of Minecraft Legends here at Blackbird Interactive. Minecraft has been on the market for almost 15 years, so it's almost generations of people have grown up and played it, and millions of kids and now adults have played it, and it's a very beloved game and an extremely beloved IP, so it was pretty exciting and such a privilege to take on this game and to work with Mojang on Minecraft Legends. The project itself started out at the beginning of 2018 in January with a very, very small team. We had about 20 people, I want to say, at that time, and then we grew the team up to 125 at its peak. In Minecraft Legends, you're a hero in the overworld, and you need to unite the overworld against the common enemy of the piglets who are coming to invade. Minecraft Legends is really hard to kind of pin down in terms of genre. It's kind of its own thing.
And Minecraft is quirky and unique. My name is Dennis Reese. I'm the executive producer for Mojang Studios. What's wonderful about this game is that it is a different, like, Minecraft take on how you would go about and execute strategic decisions within a video game.
In Vancouver, we've proven ourselves to be able to deliver, very small indie games and huge, massive franchises like FIFA. So I think Minecraft Legends fits well within that kind of giant range of our capabilities here in BC. Some people who come in regularly just have their setup here. They can work between 1 and 4 days a week here. If you want to work remotely, we're open to that, whatever you'd like to do. We have dogs in the studio, which is a huge bonus for me.
Does the culture of Vancouver show itself in Minecraft Legends? It's a really tough question. I can tell you that the creativity that exists in this area is strong. When you look at what our game is, I have to believe it reflects, through some of the creative choices that were made.
We have a really strong reputation in Canada, and I would say worldwide, for game development. So I don't think it was a big surprise that we were able to take on this project, but it's certainly been a privilege to do so.
Coming up, the housekeeping habits of the brooding hummingbird. Hi, welcome back to Our Vancouver. I'm Gloria Makarenko. Now, have you ever seen a hummingbird nest? Yeah, in early spring, the tiny bird is busy making tiny nests out of moss and lichen, even willing to work with spiders for material. And 2 Victoria filmmakers show us how the brooding female of the species raises her young.
Hello everyone, my name is Connell.
And my name is Emily.
And today we're in the middle of Victoria in a park looking at a very special little bird that thrives in our urban environments and all along the coast.
It's the Anna's hummingbird.
If you spent any time around hummingbirds, you'll know that they spend much of their lives in overdrive. When flying, their hearts, which are about the size of a child's fingernail, beat around 1,200 times a minute. And on a typical day, they can visit hundreds of flowers. They really hardly ever stop. And this time of year is particularly interesting for this species, as they're very, very busy. So this year's been really cool because I found something that I've never seen before, a hummingbird nest. We've been watching this female build her nest for the last couple of months, and to give you an idea of the size of it, it's only about 5 centimeters. It's so tiny. She's using little pieces of moss, lichen, and fur to develop that soft little bowl. Then she does something remarkable. She's weaving spider webs around the nest. This is precision engineering. Spider webs are perfect because they're sticky, stretchy, and tough. They act as a glue that holds the nest together whilst being flexible and expanding as the babies grow. This has been amazing to watch because whilst we knew that they use spider webs in their nest, both Emily and I have never seen them weaving it in such an amazing way.
I'm set up here today. I got my camera. Here we've got a lot of birds hanging around, so I thought this would be a good spot to set up. I'm mostly seeing the males around here today. I mean, that makes sense, seeing as the females are pretty busy right now.
Seeing these birds for more than a few seconds can be tricky, and filming them is even harder. My job today has been a challenge for sure. But wow, does that hard work ever pay off? I love hummingbirds so much, and I admire their industrious qualities and how hardworking they are, and I'm just in awe to see how many are around here throughout the year on the West Coast. Until about 50 years ago, these birds only resided in Southern California, but they gradually began to move northward in what is often described as one of the most remarkable range expansions to occur in a North American species. Now in British Columbia, they are permanent residents, benefiting from the mild temperature year-round and living off the native flowers, insects, and feeders through the winter. If you live around the south coast and here on the island, you'll see them everywhere. Today we've been seeing hummingbirds flying around, defending their food sources and territory.
The park behind me looks calm and peaceful now, but I'm actually standing on a hummingbird battlefield. At this time of year, hummingbirds go to war over territory, and I've been hearing them and seeing them fighting pretty much all day. At this time of year, Anna's hummingbirds go into overdrive, finding and defending their territory. They're a highly territorial species and will drive other hummingbirds away from the flowers they feed on. You may even see them fighting over your feeders as well. They fight jewels in midair using their bills like daggers, and you can see them defending their territories by flashing that beautiful pink head, usually on the top of bushes.
Now we're back at the nest that we saw the female hummingbird making earlier. We've skipped forward a bit, and we can happily tell you that she has safely had 2 babies.
We were definitely worried. With the cold weather we had through the end of February, we thought that there was a chance she was not going to make it. But excitingly, we've been seeing her coming back to the nest and feeding her young.
The mama is feeding her young by sticking her bill into their mouths and regurgitating tiny insects mixed with a little bit of nectar. Yum!
These babies are so tiny, yet they grow so fast, and we can see their heads starting to peek out now. In just a single month, hummingbirds are fully mature, independent adults.
We are seeing the babies starting to try and fly on their own. How exciting for these fledglings. They will be out of the nest in no time.
Hummingbirds are a really important part of the ecosystem, and there are some things that we can do to help them, from planting native plants to making sure that our feeders are clean, and also by giving them a lot of space and being respectful around them. And that's something we've been doing. Emily has a big lens, so we've been making sure that that female has a lot of room to raise those babies.
Absolutely. I mean, we are so lucky to have found a nest, and then just to watch this mom caring for her babies, it's been an incredible experience.
They are so lovely, and I can't wait. They're going to be fledging and flying soon, and yeah, I kind of want to go look at them right now.
Should we go?
Let's do it!
All right.
Now, the future of how we get our food is changing. Farming on a large scale is facing calls for innovation, and it seems One Pitt Meadows Group is rising to the challenge. We gave the owners a visit to learn a little bit more.
Over 90% of our baby leafy greens are imported across Canada, and we decided to do something about it. There's multiple steps that we take to make sure that nothing is growing in the facility that we don't want it to. We're at Up Vertical Farms, a production facility. It's a plant factory that we have built. We grow them indoors without any pesticide or herbicides or fungicides. It's clean, nutritious, and available all year round. It's touchless, so there's no contamination points in the field. They have to grow them as monocultures, and then they have to mix them afterwards, causing bruising. Our products are mixed together. We grow them simultaneously as a group, and then we harvest and package them right away. Consumers love it because they get a chance to eat the product. There's extended shelf life. Somebody picks it up with a forklift and puts them into the germination room. It's a dark room with a different controlled environment. It mimics the seeds being under the ground. So this is where it gets more interesting. So this is commercial scale indoor vertical farming. We control the full environment. We grow them in industrial racks, as you can see, going up 12 levels, each level independently controlled. Once we bring on the other 7, making the 16 total racks in operations, we'll have 850 tons produced annually indoors. BC's full consumption demand is 750 tons. So these leafy greens are about a week old, and as you can see, they're perfect and uniform. We do not rely on the sun. The air, humidity, CO2, everything is balanced out. And they're all consistent, beautiful, clean produce that's ready to eat. It's a multidisciplinary practice requiring engineering, farming, science. We have 8 billion people on the planet. They predict it's going to be 10 billion people by 2050. The way we're growing food right now outdoors on that scale is not sustainable. And you do have to have vertical farms, not just as a supplement. We use 99% less agricultural land, 99% less fresh water, and 99% less fertilizer. So it's good food for the people and the planet.
Coming up, we mark the 20-year anniversary of a Hong Kong superstar's death. Hi, welcome back to Our Vancouver. I'm Gloria Makarenko. Now, this month marks the 20th anniversary of Hong Kong superstar Leslie Cheung's passing. And fans around the world, including here in Vancouver, they've hosted events to celebrate his life. And I caught up with a friend of Cheung and an academic who specializes in Hong Kong pop culture on CBC's morning show, The Early Edition. Now, Pearl, it's been 20 years since Leslie Cheung's passing, yet he's so much still alive, I guess, in his fans' memory. How did you meet Leslie, and how did you become friends?
Okay, he's still very much alive in my memory. Of course, I almost cried when listening to that song early on. Okay. I also worked at a radio station in Hong Kong in the 80s, and that's when I first met Leslie. Now, before that, of course, I was a fan, so it's from a fan turned very good friend. So we just clicked from the first time we met, and we remained friends from then on. And in fact, when he lived here in Vancouver, that was the time also I moved over and lived here. So we somehow we saw each other, and of course, his ex-husband, Daffy, all the time. Yes.
Right. What was he like?
Oh, as a friend, he's fun, and he's a genuine person. For that, I mean that he will really show you his emotions. You know, when he's angry, he's not. He just is very, very genuine. And he's fun, and he's also very generous in the sense that I'm not saying that he showers us with expensive gifts. He's very thoughtful. For example, I remember that there's a scarf that I like. I always like wearing scarf, like colorful scarf. Then he just bought me a scarf, not expensive, but colorful, yeah.
Well, I like the multicolored scarf that you've worn into the studio today.
That's a rainbow scarf.
That is, it's lovely. So, Helen, what goes through your mind when you think of Leslie Cheung?
Well, I think because, I'm a cultural critic, and because Leslie is such an important part of Hong Kong culture from the 80s until up to the day that he died. And I think he's one of those rare phenomenon where he was incredibly successful as a commercial artist. But then at the same time, he took a lot of experiments. His musical performance were very gender-bending, very experimental, ahead of his times. And he starred in some of the most iconic films by very important directors in Hong Kong and Chinese cinema. So I think, he's still kind of a towering figure, I think, in Chinese-speaking culture.
I see. Is there a Western artist that you could compare him to, just in terms of popularity, maybe even style?
I mean, I would say in the 80s, everybody says, they don't make stars like that anymore. I mean, he is kind of like a Lady Gaga figure in some ways, musically, because he's such a great performer, very flamboyant on stage and very experimental. But then I think Lady Gaga's trying to, also become a serious actress. And I think Leslie actually succeeded in that after his kind of pop persona, he started taking on very complex film roles and just excelled in them. So I would say later on in his career, he's much more than just a pop star.
I see. No, and Pearl, why don't you just add to that? I mean, what would you say his biggest contribution was to Hong Kong's music and film?
Oh, of course, he's not just a pretty face, but he has a pretty face. And at that time, I think the pop culture in Hong Kong is idol worshiping. Like you have to have an idol, you know. And so Leslie became an idol, an icon. But I think the specialty or the uniqueness of him is somehow he's not afraid to show his vulnerability, both on film and through his songs and also his concerts. His concerts were amazing. I still remember the one that he had Jean-Paul Gaultier as his, like costume or the consultant, and he had like long hair, and he wore a pair of red high heels. So he just came out shocking, but everybody just accepted that. Yeah.
Well, and what about beyond the music and film, Pearl? I mean, what did he mean to queer people and queer people in Hong Kong in particular?
Okay. At that time, like Leslie, because coming out is not easy, it's not difficult. I don't remember anyone, like a celebrity, artist, singer, who really came out. But I think Leslie didn't have to. And he didn't hide that. He just came out or projected it on film and also through his songs and concerts so naturally. For example, he's been filmed or photographed as holding hands with Daffy, his former husband, and it just came naturally. So everybody accepted that. And I think after that, it's kind of give the LGBT or queer people an encouragement to come out.
I see. Well, and it's interesting, Helen. We've seen a surge in interest in the Hong Kong pop culture scene post-COVID. So how would you compare what's happening right now with the days, the heightened days of Leslie Cheung?
I think it was interesting that when Michelle Yeoh won her Best Actress Oscar, she actually mentioned Hong Kong cinema and referred to that as where she first got started. And so I think we can see, how the influence, the global influence of Hong Kong culture from Leslie's time. Everybody from Quentin Tarantino to the Daniels now have cited influences from that cinema. So I think maybe it is a good time to kind of reflect back on what the kind of global influence of that. And I think, post-COVID, there has been a resurgence in Hong Kong itself to watch films by local filmmakers. And I think there's also now burgeoning a kind of independent cinema coming out of, after the protest movement. A lot of younger filmmakers were struggling to face the challenges of kind of new censorship laws, new repressive atmosphere. But I think out of that come a kind of different kind of creativity, and so they are also making works that are on the independent scene that I think deserve some global attention. So I see kind of twin revival, maybe that maybe there's a commercial cinema that can become more viable post COVID with renewed interest in cinema going in Hong Kong, but then secondly also we should pay attention to the independent film scene that is emerging.
Wow, Helen, Pearl, thank you so much for coming in and for helping us to remember Leslie Cheung today. Really good to meet you.
Thank you.
That's Helen Leung, professor and chair in the Department of Gender, Sexuality and Women's Studies at SFU, and Leslie Cheung's friend Pearl Wong is also with us. Pearl is the founder of the Queer Theology Academy in Hong Kong. Now, at the end of this program, we like to tip our hats to our talented photojournalists on staff here at CBC Vancouver. They bring us images in their artful ways to give depth and character to the stories that we cover. So here's a sampling from what they saw this past week. Well, that hour certainly flew by. That's all we have for this week for Our Vancouver. I hope you can join me weekday afternoons on CBC Radio 1 for On the Coast. For now, bye-bye.